Hi, this is Beth with All Ray of Light. Today is April, I believe, the 16th, 2020. And I'm back to doing some of these readings again. We'll see how long I do the political content. So I wanted to do, oops, I'm dropping cards already. And I do read as a medium, not so much as a tarot reader. And I don't have a good setup. I was trying to figure out a way to set this up so that you could see the cards, and I don't have that yet. I've actually ordered something that I hope will help my setup, but this is what I'm working with right now. So anyway, I want to do a reading today because Trump came out with his, let's see what he's calling it. He's calling it Opening Up America Again, the plan to open up America again. He's trying to get the economy going. And there are phases to this. I've got it open up in front of me. And I want to see what is this about from him. How are the governors going to respond? How are the scientists going to respond? What is this really about? So I'm just using a basic universal weight, and I do read these as a medium, not so much as a tarot reader. So I'm just going to pull cards in front of me and see what I get. So what is this about? All right. So let me see. We got justice here. This is what I'm seeing immediately. What I'm seeing is him. This is about him trying to assert some control. Bottom line, it's trying to assert some control because he's been saying some things recently that the governors have kind of pushed back on, and now the regional governors are kind of combining together to decide how they're going to reopen their economies. Like, I know California, Oregon, Washington, I believe New York, Connecticut, I'm not sure who else. I think I'd read a Midwest one also. And now he's made some remarks about being the one in control, but the governors have kind of pushed back on that. So I'm hearing this is him trying to assert control, while at the same time, this is what they're telling me, while at the same time, he's really trying to put this onto the governors, because he's offering this as guidelines, but it's in the governor's hands. So I feel that this is him I'm seeing him throwing red meat at his supporters. CC, I'm trying to we're opening the governor, we're opening it up, but it's on the governors, it's on the governors. We've laid these guidelines out, but it's on the governors. So let's see what we get here. Yep. So I have, I've got the Two of Pentacles, and to me, the way the guides are showing this card to me is, well, number one, they're talking about how erratic he is. So I'm getting he's very erratic right now. And, he's concerned about the economy. I mean, lots of people are concerned about the economy, but he's really concerned about the economy. And I get the feeling they've been weighing what to do, and so now they just feel like we got to do something. But I'm getting the erratic nature of this, and I'm sorry, I'm listening to the guides. He's got a lot of fear. He's got a lot of fear that as these days tick on, I'm seeing it like this, I've got one right up there. I've got one right here. I have one right here. As the sand goes, as this tick, 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 tick of the days go, the hourglass there, what does that mean for his re-election? He's basically running on the economy. So I'm getting them weighing things like, what can we do? We want to be shown to do something, while at the same time, we really don't want to be responsible, because he's outright said that I am not responsible. Okay, so let me see what I feel like this is going to be a failure. Now, by what the guides are saying to me about it being a failure is more, there's not real specifics in it. There's not like an increased testing going on, which is what really needs to happen to be able to track things. And it's more, I'm seeing smoke and mirrors. I'm seeing this as a smoke and mirrors. This is red meat being thrown. And I'm going back to this card here for a minute because they're telling me, I think what you're going to see in some places, because I think there might be some governors who kind of hop on this a little bit faster than other governors, probably in red state governors. I think you're going to see an increased, I think you're going to see an increase of the outbreaks, is unfortunately. There's just heartache here, there's just heartache. And the heartache is also people are suffering. It's not just people are suffering with the virus. People are legitimately suffering economically. I don't want to just be jaded and say it's all about his reelection. I think he's got a lot of people in his ear wanting to open up. But this can't be rushed. That, Corona is not going to be rushed. Okay, so I got the Page of Wands here. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm feeling this Corona. Like, Corona, this virus has its own energy. And we're talking about larger forces at play here. Larger universal forces, larger forces at play than our third dimensional material selves. And I'm feeling the plan is not, it's not like a mature plan to address really opening this up. And Corona itself feels fiery still to me. I did a reading for someone, I think about 3 weeks ago, and I posted it on my Facebook page, where the message that I was constantly getting was this was about us needing to be still, that this was aimed at slowing us down, and that the longer we kept feeding the virus with the fire of activity, the longer this was going to go on. So I'm literally feeling this is not a mature plan, and the virus itself is still, it hasn't matured in its ability to end yet. We don't have a way for it to end yet, and it hasn't run its course yet. And from the larger spiritual perspectives of what's going on, there are lessons here of slowing us down. There are lessons here of looking at our structures. There are lessons here of how are we relating to the earth. There are lessons, how are we relating to each other, what is not working in our societies. And we're seeing our structures buckle in this situation, and we don't have a way of responding quickly to help our citizens. Nothing I'm saying is psychically. So let me see, I've got this three of Cups here, so let me see what the guides are telling me about this card here. Some people are going to take this and I'm feeling like celebrate about it. Like, yeah, we can, like, I feel like some people are going to take this and go, yes, we can reopen, and be happy about that, right? But I don't know that the mechanisms in place to help this be a true celebration, for the celebration to be really real, and yes, we can open up our economies again, is really there. And I feel that some people, this might be a premature celebration. Let's see what I'm getting here. Yeah, I mean, this is, there's some deceptiveness here too, right? This is aimed at it looking like he's doing something, looking like they're doing something. I'm just feeling like he's patting himself on the back tonight about it. But I almost feel like these two cards kind of go together in a way. Like, this is a falseness to this. This is not a true, the celebration is premature. I have always seen that this would, and I know other psychics have seen this, we were going to get waves of this. And history teaches us that's what happened. That's what happened in the 1918 flu epidemic. It died down a little bit. They got sick of everything. The war ended. Mass celebrations, and it spiked back up in the winter. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm feeling this is just the beginning. We aren't done yet. We aren't done with this outbreak. Um, so, as far as how this is going to spark our economy, I'm actually hearing, I feel like some of the governors are just going to go, just kind of like push that aside, not really give it much, just glance, almost like I see somebody like glancing at it and then pushing it aside. Oops. And they're going to come up with their own plans, right? Um, that's how I'm seeing it. I mean, he's really powerless. He doesn't have it. Yes, he's president. He's got power, but really, the governors are the ones that have stepped up. Red and blue governors stepped up, and in some cases didn't, right? But in other cases did. And I'm getting, in many ways, Trump is powerless over the governors. He's powerless over the economy. He's powerless over this epidemic. He's powerless over this virus. There's a powerlessness to this. He does not have power to make this go away. He can attack the press. He can attack the World Health Organization. He can attack whoever, but he doesn't have power over this virus. This is the universal energy. This is divine energy. There's a reason why we are to slow down and stop and look at things and see what is working and then what is not working, and change some things. And I don't feel like this economic thing. I just get it almost like, by tomorrow people won't even be talking about it, or in a day or two people won't even be talking about it. I'm not feeling it was really. There's no deadlines attached to it. I mean, there's no. No timelines attached to it. It's just something to throw out there, and I don't feel it. Oops, I'm dropping cards here. I don't feel it really mattering in the end. I don't feel it really mattering. So I've got the Ace of Swords here. I'm actually hearing this is the divine's sword. Like, this is the divine. So we start. I think it started off with justice here. This is divine justice. This is divine consequences for all of us here on the planet. This isn't a red or blue thing. This is not a country thing. It's not a religion thing. It's not an economic thing as far as rich, poor. This is for all of us. We are part of this divine energy. We are all part of this. We are seeking a different way of being on this planet. Our experience of being on this planet. And that hermit, we need to be going inward, and inward of ourselves, inward, kind of like a collective inwardness. That image that the reading I did where the guides were saying the longer you don't still, STILL, I was hearing it's like this is the great pause, this is the great stillness. The longer you don't still yourself, the longer this goes on. I kept seeing pages of calendar, like kept going on. So this is intended to be a time of looking within, and what's working, what doesn't working, because before we can move on, anybody who's probably done any healing work knows without that inner time of going within and looking at yourself and that contemplation, and sometimes deep, dark, in the mire of your shadowy stuff, before you can move on. What we resist persists. What we ignore will come back around. So before we get to move on from Corona, before we get to move on with our economic recovery, there's got to be some lessons learned, because I'm afraid if this goes too soon, we're just going to spike back up again. So I don't know. I'm going to pull another card here. Let's see. There's great potential for change here. We're not going back to the way it was. And I know people are hurting and want to start working again. And I think that what I saw, I think it's more, I think there may be some people who get to start opening back up in May, but we run the risk of another fire, like the flame coming back up again. The guides are telling me this thing, it's going to just push it to the side. I'm not getting them paying much attention to any of this that came out. They're going to have their own. Each of the governors are going to have their own plan of how they're going to do this. They're not really paying that much attention to him. Not a lot of them. Even in states that are red states, they're still not paying that much attention to him as far as how this plan is. It's more like they're going to do their own thing, and some of them are going to open up too early, and they're going to be a consequence. And then some of them, might have a little more success. I have to say it that way. There's potential. There's potential for more success. I don't quite have a timeline. I was seeing this more May into June, July maybe. But other psychics I know have a little bit different timeline. So I don't know. I just think this plan is, okay, whatever. He said that. They're not going to be paying that much attention. So anyway, I don't like doing long readings. I like little chunks of it really fast. And I hope everybody's doing well, and blessings.